Wow.
You're going to like this.
Oh, no, I'm not. Because there is no goddamn middle.
This is not unlike ancient Rome, by the way.
Not so much the family circus. Yeah. Yeah, when I did Mary Shelley, I had the same issue with necromancy.
A lot of them wanted to create self-sustaining farms and got into crystals.
I know.
Okay.
I understand that.
But yeah, I'm reading Livy, who is a shitty historian.
Because Eerie Gygax.
Others say that because Laurentia's body was common to all the shepherds around, she was called a she-wolf, which is a Latin term for whore. You were audible last season. It just, most of it was you slamming the table.
As the Romanists at the table. Well, duh.
Yeah.
Obviously, ipso facto.
Right.
You know, to engage in a little bit
Ipso
of dog
facto.
Latin.
You have a sword rack.
This is a Geek History of Time,
where we connect nerdery to the real world. I'm Ed Blaylock, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, father and a world history teacher here in Northern California. And at the risk of dating us today with this recording, I just managed today to finalize my grades for distance learning and get them all sent off. And I am now off the hook until they decide to drag us back, no doubt in the middle of what are we going to call it, wave 1.5 in August to go back to school. And who are you, sir?
Well, I'm Damian Harmony. I am 42 years old. I don't mind saying it. That way, when I listen to this again in 8 years, I'll be like, oh, remember when my voice was less gravelly? So I am a Latin teacher. I believe next year I will only have Latins, and I have been working all day from about 10 in the morning until about half an hour ago on recording content for my level 3 class because I run a boot camp in the summer for kids who want to get into AP. I am wiped out on having done nothing but just recorded myself. So, of course, here we go.
Well, you know.
My district, I'm sure, will... What?
After you've spent all day doing that, what do you do with your free time but get in front of a microphone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that my district will find some way to top yours as far as its idiocy. They recently sent out a survey, and I sent something back telling them that they were on notice for the kinds of surveys that they put out to the parents and then don't listen. So I don't know what I'm going to do during the summer. Well, I do know what I'm going to do during the summer, but I'm going to kind of miss having to speak truth to power. So I'm sure my district will find a way to get me to do that. And who knows what else is going to happen in the news. So
yeah, well, I'm sure whether they intend to do it or not, I'm sure they will give you every opportunity.
Yeah, that's very true. So let's do something light. The whole world has been on fire for a little while. We went from disease to
massive
revolt.
Unrest.
Yeah, wishful thinking, a revolt. And all the police had to do was arrest like 7 people, but instead they dug in their heels around the nation and they're completely tone deaf.
Arrested a whole bunch more and essentially committed their own uprising in a way.
Yeah, kind of scary.
Against the actual sovereign power of the country, which is to say the people.
Yeah.
But so in an effort to give us something light and escapist, which knowing us, we'll do our damnedest and probably fail. But
yes.
But in an effort to give us something escapist, what have you got for me tonight?
We've discussed Hogwarts in the past.
Yes, we have.
And we've discussed superheroes in the past.
Yes, we have.
And I've even brought superheroes and Hogwarts together in prior episodes.
Yes.
This episode is entirely superheroes and Hogwarts.
Okay.
So we're sorting superheroes from the Marvel world into houses.
Ooh, okay.
All
right. I can get behind this.
I have no doubt. I was hoping to keep this one dry until we could all meet in person again. Just because having our former guest Tessa as a moderator would have been wonderful.
Or shouting participant.
Right. Either will do.
Yeah.
So to start with, though, let's go back to what the 4 Hogwarts houses are. And before I even start that, I need to call out the fact that J.K. Rowling has doubled and tripled down on her transphobic turfing, and she's kind of showing herself to be a garbage person.
Have we only gotten to tripling, or are we now at like quintupling?
Oh, she very well might be, yeah.
Like
she just doesn't
every
stop.
time, like I can only imagine the folks from Warner Brothers getting on the phone where they're like, so yeah,
Could you stop?
JK, sweetie, booby, honey, dear, we really want to keep making money off of this. Could you just not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Please.
She's essentially like she's doing the thing that I expect people at her age to do if they stop learning, but because she wrote such wonderful books that tackled issues of inclusivity and difference, it's kind of a body blow to a lot of folks I know who are huge fans, and they're having to reconcile it. And part of me is sitting there as a Star Wars fan going, yeah, no, this is what I went through several times with George Lucas. So you learn to love the world, and you need to call out the person who built it.
Okay, so I want to pause you right there.
Sure.
Because you talk about going through this with Lucas, like you specifically call out Lucas. Now he's a boomer, so
and
there's
a Modesto
that.
Boomer.
He's a Modesto. He's a Modesto.
Sorry, Central
boomer.
Valley, but you know.
Yeah, you know.
You know what you did.
Having family down there. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But so Boomer, Modesto Boomer, who then went and became an auteur, and we have had some kind of sideline tangential discussion of what exactly that means as far as you're an asshole.
You're an abusive prick.
But my own experience with problematicness being associated with Star Wars mostly, and as I'm saying this, of course I'm realizing things, but mostly has to do with other fans being over entitled, non-inclusive, privileged little white boy crybabies.
Yeah.
So
which is not something I see with J.K. Rowling's property.
No,
it's interesting.
Jesus,
That's missing.
Yeah. But what I'm curious about is what specifically are you talking about Lucas in that context?
So we can start with Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, okay. As I was bringing the question up, it was like, oh wait, right, the prequels.
Yeah.
Oh,
so when he made his fan films, he included all he basically the original the Holy Trilogy, the Tridge, they had the benefit of somebody pulling him back and a studio system controlling him on some levels, and that collaboration, that tension, made a really cool world. When he made his fan films, the Lucas trilogy, because that's kind of what they are.
Kinda.
He didn't have he didn't have an editor or anybody who could pull him back, because now he was the studio. He became the thing that he was railing against. And he'd already kind of flip-flopped on a few things that, frankly, like, they're really minor compared to the shit that we're talking about as far as J.K. Rowling goes. But he used to call out Ted Turner and be like, you can't alter films, man. Like, they are done.
Yeah.
And then he goes and alters all his films, and then uses that to bankroll the Lucas trilogy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think there is a qualitative difference, or there is I don't know if it's an ethical difference, but I think if a film is made in black and white, and you, as somebody who was not involved in the making of that movie, go back and make alterations, I see what you're saying about his artistic integrity when he then because that's what he called Turner out about was colorizing. And then, he went back to the Holy Trilogy, as you call it, and I'm forever now going to call it going forward. And because I'm stealing that shit. That's
Do
done.
it.
But he went back and he did the remastered version. And I get what you're saying about, if it's a done thing, leave it done. But it's him tinkering with his own toy.
Well, okay, so let me tell you what he said. These are his words. My name is George Lucas. I'm a writer, director, and producer of motion pictures and chairman of the board of Lucasfilm Ltd., a multifaceted entertainment corporation. I'm not here today as a writer, director, or as a producer, or as the chairman of a corporation. I've come as a citizen of what I believe to be a great society that is in need of a moral anchor to help define and protect its intellectual and cultural heritage. It is not being protected. The destruction of our film heritage, which is the focus of concern today, is only a tip of the iceberg. American law does not protect our painters, sculptors, recording artists, authors, or filmmakers from having their life work distorted and their reputation ruined. If something is not done now to clearly state the moral rights of artists, current and future technologies will alter, mutilate, and destroy for future generations the subtle human truths and highest human feeling that talented individuals within our society have created. A copyright is held in trust by its owner until it ultimately reverts to public domain. American works of art belonging to the American public. They are part of our cultural history. So far, so good. People who alter or destroy works of art and our cultural heritage for profit or as an exercise of power are barbarians. And if the laws of the United States continue to condone this behavior, history will surely classify us as a barbaric society. The preservation of our cultural heritage may not seem to be as politically sensitive an issue as, quote, when life begins, or, quote, when it should be appropriately terminated, but it is important because it gets to the heart of what sets mankind apart. Creative expression is at the core of our humanness. Art is a distinctly human endeavor. We must have respect for it if we are to have any respect for the human race. These current defacements are just beginning. Today, engineers with their computers can add color to black and white movies, change the soundtrack, speed up the pace, and add or subtract material to the philosophical tastes of the copyright holder. Tomorrow, more advanced technology will be able to replace actors with fresher faces or alter dialogue and change the movement of actors' lips to match. It will soon be possible to create a new, quote, original negative with whatever changes or alterations the copyright holder of the moment desires. The copyright holders so far have not been completely diligent preserving the original negatives of the films they control. In order to reconstruct old negatives, many archivists have had to go to Eastern Bloc countries where American films have been better preserved. In the future, it will become even easier for old negatives to become lost and, quote, replaced by new altered negatives. This would be a great loss to our society. Our cultural history must not be allowed to be rewritten. There's nothing to stop American films, records, books, and paintings from being sold to foreign entity or egotistical gangsters and having them change our cultural heritage to suit their personal taste.
I'm sorry, but hold on.
Sure.
Just the phrase egotistical gangsters.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So
sorry, I just that particular bit of verbiage. So when did he say that?
1988.
What? Okay.
March 3rd.
In
front of Congress.
So yeah, well, yeah, that has every hallmark of being a congressional thing.
He goes on for a bit and accuses and it's hyperbolic, but it's.
You know, how much more naive were we when whether or not movies ought to be colorized? What was going on before Congress?
Well, let's see. In 1988, we had just decided to give reparations to Japanese people Japanese Americans who had been interned.
Yeah,
you know?
but you get what I'm what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I was like, oh my, really?
Yeah.
Really, that was this was a big enough deal that it was before, and I do remember it, but you know, it was oh so long ago.
So those are his words, then he also said to Charlie Rose in 2015 that he didn't like the direction that Disney was taking Star Wars, and that he felt like he sold his children to white slavers.
Yeah, I remembered that quote before you. Yeah.
Like I said, he's a problem. Yeah. He is a problem.
Well, yeah. But Rowling is a bigger one by far.
Well, she's a much more active problem right now.
Yeah, well, yeah. And you know, and the thing is, what you mentioned a minute ago about the fandom, I think is an important distinction, and I think what we should probably make clear here before we get started with the part of the show that's going to be lighthearted, we promise.
Yes.
Is that the universe that all of this happens in, and the overarching story of good versus evil, and kindness and love of several different varieties, and diversity, and all of that is what wins out in the end. That is what we are attached to. That is what we are passionate about, and that is the part of this that we are choosing to play with. Yeah. And the statements of the author are unfortunate, and she sucks.
Yes.
But yeah,
the world she created for us. Timothy Zahn once said, "We're playing with our Star Wars toys in George Lucas's driveway. Sometimes he'll back over them." Which, that's kind of what it is. You're. Oh, you could see Ed is leaning back and laughing hard.
That's such a Timothy Zahn.
It really
remark. That's really great. Sometimes he'll back over them.
Yeah,
I like that.
She's kind of doing the same thing. She's made this great world, and you know what they say, like, art is never finished, it's abandoned. She should have abandoned it. She should have just walked away. Now, having said that, Marvel Comics has its own troublesome past as well. There's all kinds of not paying the artist things. So I am not blind to the fact that the very wrestling that I love, for instance, is run by one of the most venal curs to ever venally cur. So I
suppose you can adverb those two words.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Okay. Yeah.
It's English. Don't get me started.
No, I don't.
I've been translating all damn day. Like, I've got Trimalchio going through my head right now. So it's in Pliny. Like, all right. So
bless you.
Yes. So to start with, we've cleared the air on her a bit. Let's go back to what the 4 Hogwarts houses are. So we'll start with your favorite, Gryffindor.
My alma mater, as it were. I think going back to our discussion the last time we brought up Hogwarts as a main topic, what we came away with was Gryffindor is essentially the house that has no chill.
Yes, they value courage, chivalry, daring do.
And very closely, very, very heavily identified with the element of fire.
Yep. You don't have to be the best at anything, by the way, because your courage is what makes you great.
Yeah.
I think that's a very positive way to put it.
Yeah.
Put negatively, they are the house of don't look before you leap. No chill.
Poor impulse control.
Yes.
The house of poor impulse control.
Yes. The house of no chill, I think, is really...
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the other side of their coin. Slytherin. Values ambition, cunning, leadership. You ought to be the best at things because that will help everyone. They are water.
Yes. Put
negatively, they're the house of elitism, which can branch way too easily into bigotry.
Both Gryffindor and Slytherin have a very self-directed aspect.
Yes.
That in Gryffindor, I think it goes bad as narcissism. In Slytherin, it goes bad as just straight up selfishness.
I was going to say authoritarianism.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Little, if any, sympathy for those who are deemed unworthy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're very they're very like if you didn't realize Machiavelli was a satire.
Right.
Their kind of outlook is like, okay, no, look, this is all the great game. And if I bend the game toward good ends, then I do good. And,
Right.
if I bend the game toward my own ends, then I get what I want.
Right.
And having had a very illuminating, I would say, back and forth a couple of years ago with one of my students who was my favorite kid that year, and was a truly driven Slytherin individual. And we went back, and I called her Fang Face for a while. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Fangs? How you doing? And she'd just sniff at me and toss her hair and walk on. It was fun. But getting into really discussing it with her and bringing up the unfortunate culture of Slytherin and the racism and all of that with it. And then talking to her, and she was African American, and then talking with her and then hearing her opinions about race relations in the real world. It was really interesting to me that her own outlook on it was very much, no, look, I'm looking out for me, and not in a not in a way that was entirely, I'm just going to throw everybody else under the bus, but it was all very, very individual, me focused.
Interesting.
And I mean, that's just one individual, but I found it very interesting and a little bit illuminating that seems to be kind of part of how that cluster of personality traits
manifests.
Kind of manifests. So anyway.
Well, that's water. Let's talk about Ravenclaw. They value intelligence, wit, learning, creativity. Per our previous discussion, you're searching for truth above all else, because why else are we here? Put negatively, they are the house of getting lost in their own thoughts, the house of forgetting that other people are around. They're the house of paralysis through analysis.
When they go bad in a fluffy way, you wind up getting Luna Lovegood, who is the prototypical Cloud Cuckoo Lander.
Yes.
Heart of gold, absolute sweetheart, wonderful, wonderful girl, but okay, honey, we need you to focus over here right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the real world and its problems matter less than other plans. This is the house of air.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Hufflepuff, of course, the other side of the coin of Ravenclaw. They value hard work, patience, loyalty, fairness.
Immensely, immensely grounded.
Yes. Well, they're Earth, right?
Yeah.
You aren't the best at anything, but nobody has to be. Because in welcoming everyone, you're giving everyone what they need most, which is a community.
Yeah.
Very Earth. Put negatively, they're the house that won't let go of grudges.
Indeed.
They're the house of codependency.
Clannishness.
Yep. And the world cannot be left alone. They are always having to meddle to make it better.
Okay.
So now that's the four houses. That's the place from which we are leaping. Now moving forward, I'm only going to do the Marvel superheroes because we all know my feelings on DC. But I'll throw in what little I know on them as well. So we're going to start with a very easy team, the Avengers.
All right.
However, I'm leaving out Thor and Hulk because those guys aren't really superheroes. They're forces of nature more than they are superheroes. So
okay,
let's start with your and my iconic favorite, Captain America.
Okay.
What house would you put him in?
Okay. So this is a dude who grew up as an invalid, and even as an invalid, if somebody decided they were going to bully him, his response was, as he picked himself up literally from the gutter, I can do this all day.
Right.
When he got turned down to join the draft because he was like 6F, not even just 4F.
Right.
Like, dude, sunken chest, asthma,
bone spurs.
God
that'll
knows
keep
what
you
else.
out right away.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He lied repeatedly, going to multiple different draft, stations.
Yep.
to try to get in. So, and that's before he became a super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So based on our archetypal argument of what house is what, then this one is a pretty big slam dunk, I think, for Gryffindor.
Yeah, he is the poster boy for Gryffindor. He's not the smartest, but he is the leader.
Yeah.
He's not the strongest, but he's the first one into the fight.
Yeah.
He's not doing it just for the person next to him either. He's doing it because everyone who's yet to have someone fight for them needs someone to fight for them.
And I think there's also an important component, like I mentioned, one of the traits that comes with being a Gryffindor, or that is part of that is a certain self-directedness, and part of the thing is Steve has a very personal no. I am not going to let you get away with fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Not on my watch.
Exactly.
There is this kind of like, no. I have the capacity to do this, so I have to do it.
And even if he didn't have the capacity, he still had to do it.
He'd
like you
still
said,
be doing it.
His statement of "I can do this all day" is not one of patience; it's one of endurance. It's I will wear you down by getting beaten up. I will make your fists bleed with my nose. So, courage despite
and the broken, jagged edges of my teeth.
Yeah, courage despite overwhelming odds. Yeah. His cause is just, therefore he can fight for it no matter the odds. And then my favorite quote of his, which is, "Doesn't matter what the press says, doesn't matter what the politicians or the mob say, doesn't matter if the whole country decides that something wrong is something right. This nation was founded on one principle above all else, the requirement that we stand up for what we believe no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move."
Yep.
That's some pretty goddamn lion in scarlet and gold shit right there.
Ain't it, though?
Yeah. All right. Next one.
Okay.
Hawkeye. Give me one sentence for why you think he belongs in whatever house you think he belongs in.
I'm going to say Ravenclaw, because air element and he's an archer, and he isn't born with a preternatural level of ability. He isn't gifted with some level of preternatural ability. He is what he is as a hero because he trained for it.
Okay. I like it. I'm going to say he's Hufflepuff because he cares about the people around him and he fights for them. He cares deeply for them despite his gruff exterior, right? He's also extremely patient despite being a hothead in the comics. And here's a quote from him. "You're going to miss each and every shot you can't be bothered to take. That's not living life. That's just being a tourist. Take every shot, Kate. If it's worth caring about, no matter how impossible you think it is, you take the shot." Now, here's why I say that he's Hufflepuff more than Ravenclaw or Gryffindor. In the comics, he was put in charge of the Thunderbolts. And when the Thunderbolts got canceled, he kept it going, and he was doing it rogue. Why? Because he saw that former villains were actually acting like heroes, and he was loyal to their processes. He put himself at risk to keep them good, and he's the consummate underpowered overachiever. And he does it with this stern earnestness that you don't see others using. Clint Barton is driven by loyalty. And he was a thirsty bitch a long time in the Avengers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So. Okay. Yeah, no, actually, I see that, and that leads me to probably my favorite series of Hawkeye stories is the Matt Fraction run, where he's broke, he's not an Avenger anymore, and he winds up going up against the Russian mob or Ukrainian mob or whatever, and it is there. It's one of those series that, like, we're both in that Hawkeye fan club on Facebook,
right?
And the Fraction run is one of those things that, like, one group of fans is like me. They're like, no, that is amazing comic storytelling. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you, and the other group is like, no, man, they overplayed the comedy. They turned him into a joke. He got his ass kicked repeatedly. It's just, he's just
Right.
making quips all the time. And the thing is, I mean, my own argument, not to say those guys are wrong,
Mm-hmm.
because, it's a matter of opinion.
Right.
I mean, they are wrong, but for me, the thing about that series is
Mm-hmm.
he winds up getting sucked into this chain of events that get him just beat the hell up repeatedly, because he's trying to look out for the people
Mm-hmm.
in his apartment building on his block,
Right.
who are being victimized by these guys.
He's found his tribe, and he's going to love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the Hufflepuff version of the 308 rules. Like, no, man, I love these people. I can protect them. I got to protect them.
Right.
And yeah. And I don't want to give too much away, because clearly you haven't read the series.
I've not.
You need to.
I should. Yeah.
You need to.
I really should. All right.
So, okay. Yeah. I'll
So there's-
give you Hufflepuff there. That makes sense.
Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to come back to Black Widow. So I want you to think about what house you want her in. Again, 1 to 2 sentences as to why. And we'll do that right after the commercial, starting now.
Hello, Geek Timers. This is producer George, interrupting this podcast to let you know that we have space available. This space could be used to promote your product, book, event, group, even wish a special someone happy birthday. If you're interested in using this space, please contact us on Twitter via private message at Geek History Time.
And we're back. All right. So when we got ahead of the commercial, I said, think about Black Widow and what house she belongs in. So what do you say?
Okay. So I'm kind of torn, because you caught me off guard with Hufflepuff a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm trying to think about it. And the thing is, I can't quite make up my mind between her being a Slytherin, because ends versus means
Good point.
is like, no.
That's her
I'm
bread
sorry.
and butter.
I'm sorry. No, you have done this bad thing, and all of my friends over here are light and airy goodness. I'm just gonna kill you all.
Right.
But by the same token, there is, again, the extent to which she was made into what she is by all of that training, and there is this level of well, I was going to say self-discipline, and actually the more I talk about it, the more I'm going to go back to Slytherin. I think her being a determinator, the manner in which she is, no, I have decided I'm going to accomplish this goal, and I will do literally whatever it takes to accomplish it. You have a choice. You can work with me,
or you can die.
Or you can wind up a body on the floor.
I will agree with you as to what house she sorts in, actually. She's the other underpowered overachiever of the group. She's a totally different character than Hawkeye, though. She's what you get if you take a Slytherin and train them in assassination.
Yeah.
She's all about resourcefulness, getting the mission accomplished, like you said, and using her particular skills to do it. The truth doesn't matter to her nearly as much as the accomplishment of the mission. In fact, I've got a quote for everybody. Here's my quote for her. Picking your own jobs means you get to exercise your own ethics, but ethics isn't a science, which is to say you do your best, but that doesn't make you right. She's able to get what she needs from a foe through charm, guile, seduction, violence, fear, playing hurt, pretty much anything. Everything is a tool to her. Everything.
Yeah.
My final quote.
Everyone.
Yes. On some level, absolutely.
Yeah.
My final quote about her is, quote, "You might think I'm cold-hearted. I am. I can't afford distractions. I've got work to do."
Yeah. That's pretty snake face right there.
Yup. All right.
Gotta say. All
Let's
right.
talk about Vision.
Well, okay. He
One sentence.
the Mind Stone, Ravenclaw.
Yeah. Okay.
Like-
If ever there was a character who was more clearly a Ravenclaw, I cannot imagine a better example. Yeah. than an android created by a genius. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an android created by a genius who, at least in the films, is literally animated by a magical item that is directly tied to intellect.
Yeah. It's a little different in the comics, but I still think in the comics you still have all intellect, no passion. He's got everything calculated, everything figured out, and he tells you all about it ad nauseum. Even when he decides to murder people, it's an issue of intellect for him.
Okay, so when you say even when he decides to murder people,
this is in the comics.
Which leads me to the question: Are you talking about the Vision short run where the Vision has a family of other Visions?
No.
Have you read that?
No. Remember, I'm all the way back in the 1960s still. I'm still reading.
Right.
I will get
there.
You're
getting in 25 years.
Well, I'm doing the work now so I can read the comics later.
Okay, all right.
But here's a wonderful. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
But in that series, and there's, it would be almost impossible for me to spoil it because there's so many different plot twists involved. But the short form of the conceit is Scarlet Witch is for whatever reason out of the picture, and he winds up creating himself a family, all of whom are sort of him, but one of them is Mrs. Vision, and then he has a son in quotes and a daughter in quotes who are also, of course, androids. And it is a remarkable study of what exactly is humanity. And it gets really grim.
I bet.
I mean, it gets dark, but in a remarkably good way. It's amazing writing.
Nice.
So anyway,
well, so here's a quote from him. Quote, "Another correction, Iron Man. My brain is a miniaturized high-speed computer. I always know precisely what I am doing. I am killing him." It was Iron Man tried to stop Vision from killing somebody. And he's like, you might kill him. He's like, no, I am killing him. What's wrong with you? He gets completely lost in his own thoughts. And then he can't work his way out of them because he's fully convinced that he's right. Here's another quote. "I have an equation. In the 8 years since Mr. Stark announced himself as Iron Man," this is from the MCU, "the number of known enhanced persons has grown exponentially, and during the same period, the number of potentially world-ending events has risen at a commensurate rate. I'm saying there may be a causality. Our very strength invites challenge. Challenge incites conflict, and conflict breeds catastrophe. Oversight. Oversight is not an idea that can be dismissed out of hand. So his solution is to back Iron Man's plan and fight hard against heroes. He's so smart, but at the same time, he can't see the manipulations actually being played by Baron Zemo." And that's super duper Ravenclaw. So smart that you absolutely missed the bigger plan because you're so convinced that you're right and you don't think outside of that.
Oh yeah, well, and it's also I'm just going to throw in here this is also kind of something that would be very Zinchian in the Warhammer universe, the Warhammer Fantasy or Warhammer Fantasy Battle. The 4 Chaos Gods. Tzeentch is commonly referred to as the god of magic, god of knowledge.
Okay.
But he is also the god of wheels within wheels, plots within plots, and he is 3 steps ahead of everybody else. He's also 3 steps ahead of himself.
Yeah.
And so
it's like, congratulations, you outthought yourself into a box. And you get into the metaphysics of how chaos works, and he winds up his plots fail as often as they succeed because they are needlessly complicated.
and because his agents get so caught up in how brilliant they are that they don't see the big picture.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's I mean, that's exactly what happened in the Civil War movie. So
yeah.
The next one is going to be Iron Man. So give me one sentence as to why you think he's in the house that he's in.
Oh man! So the temptation to call him a Slytherin is like ridiculous, just because ambition, drive, me.
Mm-hmm.
Gryffindor is tempting because me. Look at me, zero chill.
Sure.
However, all of that winds up coming back around to he is absolutely convinced he is the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
When he's in the room with Reed Richards, his argument would be, well, I'm still effectively the smartest guy in the room because Reed has a higher IQ, but I'm an engineer and he's a theorist.
Right.
And so Ravenclaw.
Okay. I like you triangulated, but you came back to Ravenclaw. Now, I would argue that if ever there was evidence that being smart isn't enough to be in Ravenclaw, Iron Man is it.
Gryffindor?
No, Slytherin.
Oh.
Through and through. He makes decisions unilaterally. He's fully convinced that he's the only one that gets it. And this is actually true in the movies and the comics. Quote, I shouldn't be alive unless it was for a reason. I know what I have to do, and I know it is right. He does not care that other people struggle along the way. They should just trust him to do the right thing and get in line.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. I see it's tough because he has so many because he's an example of a hero who, like, all of his flaws are so, it's like a jacket he wears that you can see every one of his personality flaws.
Yeah. And it's like he's wearing a jumpsuit of like a NASCAR driver and you see all his his sponsors.
The patches. Yeah.
But instead it's all of his vices.
Yeah. And for me, it's his no, I know what I've got to do, and runs off and doing shit.
Right.
And so that was the reason I kind of came around to
I totally get that being Gryffindor
for half a second, because I'm like, because
no chill.
He has no impulse control, like, at all.
He revels in that.
He wallows in it, like.
But ultimately, that's a front that he puts up. That's how he keeps people back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So.
All right. I'm still, I gotta say, I think this is going to be one we're going to be split on.
Okay.
I do still think Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Because his determination that he's right isn't about him.
Okay.
If you get what I mean.
I do.
He is still focused on I have all the facts. I'm the one who has thought it out better than everybody else.
Right. But is he really looking for the truth in that? Or is he convinced of his own genius?
Okay. The ego.
Ego. Because he fronts the no chill and the Playboy stuff. But in reality, well, here's another quote from him. Is it better to be feared or respected? I say, is it too much to ask for both?
Yeah.
And of course, here's this one. Give me a break. I'm doing what has to be done to stave off something worse. Like, that's straight out of the MCU.
Yeah.
And in the comics, he's similar, by the way. This is like the one character that MCU didn't change that much at all. In Civil War, where he really came into his own, because prior to that, he was kind of a backbencher. Stark said this to Steve Rogers' corpse. And it was a really emotional scene, but, Cap is dead. I know this because the worst has happened. The thing I can't live with has happened. And for all our back and forth and all the things we've said and done to each other, there's one thing that I'll never be able to tell anyone now. The one thing. The one thing I should have told you, but now I can't. It wasn't worth it. Everything I've done, everything I'll do today, everything I'll ever do is I do to protect the world. When I put on this armor, I took on more power than any human was ever intended to have, and maybe more responsibility than my heart can truly bear, which I love that because the heart was the reason he had to make the armor.
Yeah.
But today I will do my job, and I will protect you no matter what it takes. This is something he said to someone later. But the fact that he said, I have figured out now that it wasn't worth it, but it's not him who had to pay the damn price. Like, he did in that he lost his friend, but his friend lost his life.
Yeah.
And he lost his own self-respect, but the end still justified the means. Tony Stark has always been ambitious, resourceful, elitist as fuck. And sometimes he's been absolutely right, and other times he's been right, but we don't want him to be. And other times still he's dead fucking wrong. And no matter what, nobody is able to persuade him. And to me, that's as Slytherin as it gets. So
See,
and I'm going to do a weird thing here just real quick.
Okay.
My dog is very old and he needs to go potty. So we're taking another short break for the dog. I will be right back.
all right.
So we're back.
Yeah.
The dog is a little bit lighter. I will give you the short version of Thor and Hulk both. They're Hufflepuff. We'll move on. And if you look at them for any little bit, they really kind of are. Because Thor is protecting all of Asgard. Hulk just wants to be left alone, but he really doesn't want to just be left alone. He loves Betty.
Well, one, he really doesn't want to just be left alone,
Yeah.
and he is in fact Atlas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, the Earth element thing is just too strong to not be.
So
Yeah. Okay.
next team, Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right.
We'll start with Star-Lord.
God damn it! I hate to say this, but he's a fucking Gryffindor.
Yeah, 100%. He is
He never has a plan.
Nope.
He is completely wrapped up in "Aren't I pretty?"
never looks before he leaps.
He is the biggest, dumbest fucking hothead.
He is. Leads with his heart.
His heart is entirely in the right place.
Yep.
But he's a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's dumb as shit.
God damn.
And he is the ostensible leader when they're absent and Asgardian. Here's a quote by Star-Lord. Quote, I don't mind dying like the valiant intergalactic hero that I am, but the least you could do is pay attention. Yeah.
I feel attacked.
Without any of the endearing qualities that Cap brings to the table, you get Star-Lord.
Yeah, well, yeah, none of the self-sacrifice,
Yeah.
none of the team player, none of the tactical intelligence.
Right. He's got a hell of a lot of charm to him, though. He is what happens when your dump stat is intelligence, and you put everything into charisma. Cap is what you get when your dump stat is none of them. He's completely well balanced.
Okay, I am going to say I think if Cap has anything that qualifies as a dump stat, it would be wisdom.
I would agree.
By virtue of not having a self-preservation instinct.
Yep, I would agree with that. I would.
But,
but
he still really doesn't have one. And Star-Lord is
he took all his points and put them in charisma. You'll roll your eyes the whole time that he's leading the team, but he's charming. Here's another quote. I almost made it work. The Guardians were more than I could have ever hoped for, but the universe is also more dangerous than I ever imagined. Look around. This is the kind of thing that can happen. The galaxy doesn't need guardians. It doesn't need brave souls. If it's going to survive another one of these, it's going to need absolute badasses. It's going to need the biggest guns of all. Cosmic heavy hitters as scary as the menaces they have to face. It's going to need flarking annihilators. Like, no question that he's going to fight it. The only question is how hard.
Yeah. And how big are the guns he's taking to bear. He is what happens when you wind up putting a bard in the position of being the party leader. Mm-hmm. Not just the party's face man.
Right.
Like that's the default, that's the go-to, that's the skill set.
Right.
No, he's what happens when it's no, we're taking our orders from the fucking bard.
Yeah.
Not the fighter,
Right.
not the wizard. No, the bard. Like
Your adventures will be fun and musical.
but the likelihood of TPK goes up by about 300%.
Yeah.
You know, and on top of that, you know, it's every encounter involves everybody drawing aggro.
Right.
Because that's the go-to. That's what they do.
Yep.
So so the tactic is, yeah, I'm picking a fight.
Yep.
Wait, you're the bard. You could talk us out of this. No,
Doesn't
he's
matter.
a dick. I'm picking a fight.
Yep.
You know, yeah. I'm just picturing the fighter in that party looking around like, am I taking crazy pills?
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of the fighter, let's talk about Drax.
Oh yeah.
Probably not the fighter, probably the barbarian. But
Yeah.
give me one sentence as to why you think he belongs in the house he belongs in.
Gamora is the fighter.
She's the fighter.
Well, I don't know. Actually, she might be the rogue because she strikes me as more a DPS than a tank. But anyway, he is 100% Hufflepuff.
Really?
He is. Well,
Okay.
I get a really strong Earth Elemental vibe from him.
Mm-hmm.
His entire motivation, like the source of all of his rage, is the death of his family.
Good point.
And his desire to avenge them and avenge the people of his planet.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a deep thinker.
Also true.
And as you notably point out, he is not the best of the group really at anything. He is remarkably strong.
Right.
But he is a very skilled combatant, but he's, but Gamora can take him down, and Groot is stronger than he is. His biggest asset is his deep wellspring of rage, and the fact that he is a determinator.
Okay. I put him in Gryffindor. If he was more cunning, I'd put him in Slytherin, but he's not more cunning, and here's why. Like you said, he's driven by the sole purpose to kill Thanos.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's to kill Thanos, wipe him off the map. And the problem with that, and yes, he's doing it to avenge his family. The problem with that is in the comic books, he does it at the worst possible time. He does not consider the consequences of his actions. And that's why I put him in Gryffindor. He never looks before he leaps. He never plans shit out. He has zero impulse control. He has zero fucking chill. That's why I put him there. But I totally get what you said about the Hufflepuff, except he puts his desire for, the mission ahead of his concern about anybody else's well-being. I think a Hufflepuff would think that out.
I think I'm going to argue that I think a Hufflepuff gone dark side might not.
Okay,
I think because again I get back to the metaphor of the earth elemental thing. Somebody who gets
he's so
well
fiery.
He is, but the thing is, look at his build.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the kind of stance we normally see him in.
True.
He's in this.
True.
He's always in this very broad kind of stance. Squat. And the yes, he's dealing with these incredible feelings of rage, but it is this constant kind of black fury. It's not like, Peter Quill is a hothead who gets angry at something and punches Thanos at the wrong time and kills half the universe.
Right.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Drax.
So Drax did that in the comics. He did exactly that. Thanos was going to bring balance back. He saw how fast he could tip it out, and Drax killed him. And they're like, what did you do? He's like, doesn't matter. In fact, here's a quote. The Guardians have always been a serviceable distraction, but this is my life's work. I must get my revenge against Thanos, and with the entire team following their own agendas, I will follow suit. I will kill Thanos.
All right. I mean, it's a compelling argument.
Mm-hmm. Again, I even have it in my notes. You could argue that he's Hufflepuff due to his loyalty as shown in the movies. But the fact that he's so singular-minded, sacrifice everything for his goal mentality, puts him closer to Slytherin, but he has no cunning, and he has no chill, therefore, Gryffindor.
Yeah. All right. I see where your argument is based.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just on a gut level.
I know.
But
he is a dysfunctional Hufflepuff, and what we decided was last time that if people would fuck up the house that they were supposed to be in, they go to Gryffindor.
They go to
and
Gryffindor.
then they get told they're the bravest.
Yeah, because no chill.
And then they get to win. All right, Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket Raccoon is when a Ravenclaw is a dickbag.
Yes. He loves devices. He loves repairs. He loves things that go boom. He shows no ambition beyond mischief. Here's a fun quote. And all the while, in the middle of all that crazy, despite the certain death stuff, I was still looking for an angle, the out, the fluke, the miracle play, that one opportunity, that one break, the genius way we could combine our skills or exploit their weaknesses and bust out of that death trap alive. Like I told you, I'm a tactical genius. Always looking, no matter how hopeless things seem, and there was none. We were dead, certain death, curtains, good night. Then the sun came out.
Yeah.
He's what happens when you abuse a Ravenclaw beyond all reason and don't get them into therapy.
Yeah.
He's what happens when Ravenclaw gets weaponized.
Yeah.
All thought and totally
hardcore.
Lost in it. Yeah.
Well, all thought, and there is somewhere in the depths of his damaged heart there is a kernel of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
But you really got to dig deep to get it to the surface.
Yeah.
And otherwise he's deeply angry at the universe, and he's going to get his pound of flesh by just annoying the shit out of everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All
yeah,
right.
Totally.
Gamora. This one was very obvious to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Slytherin.
Yep. She can kill you in more ways than Black Widow can.
Yeah, she is
literally the most dangerous woman in the galaxy.
Yeah, and they're in a very meaningful way. The two of them are built on the same archetype.
Yeah. She stood toe to toe with Thanos and poked him in the goddamn throat.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty ruthless.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's ruthless, and just like Widow, she was made into that.
Yes.
Through grueling
torture.
Darwinian training, torture, emotional manipulation, all of the above. and she and then both of them have now come out the other side wanting to try to do right by the universe,
but by any means necessary.
But by any means necessary. And again, ends versus means. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I mean, we did shoot the guy in his sleep, but he was bad.
Right. She would have been okay with killing baby Thanos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, easily. In fact, here's a quote from her. Children make for terrible soldiers, but they make for wonderful spies. Like, whoa. That's not comfortable at all. But that's her.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
yeah.
All right. So let's go on to the X-Men. I'm going to stick.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Back up.
What?
Back up. No Groot?
Groot. I'm sorry. I skipped Groot. Obviously, he's what?
Hufflepuff.
Yeah. He's the heart of the team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not particularly quotable, so I don't have a quote for him, but he is tremendously loyal to his friends. Here's what Rocket says about him. Okay. He says, see, me, I don't really care about people. I spend most of my time shooting them. But Groot likes people. Always sees the best in them. Gives them a shot. And even if it hurts, even if he always goes out of his way to help. Groot makes friends everywhere he goes. He puts himself out there. Even when he shouldn't. However, once in a while, he does say something himself. Here's something I got. I think I found this from Groot, actually. Time is strange. At first, it feels boundless, but it always is fleeting. Soon our time belongs to others, and it races by. But before we know it, time runs out, and we lose the chance to thank the ones who meant the most to us, who made us what we are. Because of her, I learned the greatest truth I know, one I live by every day. I want to thank her. I want to thank the person who showed me that a kinder universe was out there, and that kindness is worth the risk. I found Groot saying that at one point. It was like probably the one time that he talked. You know, it's like when you saw Snake Eyes' face for the first and only time, you know?
Yeah.
Groot sacrifices himself for his friends, and he does whatever he's told within the group. He is a follower. He is happy for the family. So, yeah. Groot, and he grows from the earth. I mean, you know, he's a tree. All right.
Yeah.
So now on to the X-Men.
Right.
I'm only going to look at the popular X-Men. So sorry, Angel. But let's start with Storm.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna say Ravenclaw,
Okay.
because I mean, right off the bat, weather goddess.
Okay. Yeah. There's error there.
Number
That makes
one.
sense.
Number one, air element. Number two, there are a couple of really great points in recent kind of analysis of story,
Mm-hmm.
where it really becomes clear that she has a very definite idea of what being a mutant means, about what, you know, their role in the world is. And it's something that clearly, you know, has been very much thought out on her part, but it's also something that has not actually been bounced off of anybody else. And it's all kind of this construct of her own,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
And yeah, that's where I'm going to go with that.
All right. I'm going to say she's Slytherin, which makes it 3 for 3. The women in Marvel who are on teams end up being Slytherin. Here's why. She's a queen.
Okay.
She is the elite. She's a natural leader who even defeats Cyclops for leadership of the X-Men at one point. And here's a quote from her. If we don't act, everything and everyone we've ever cared for dies. It's time, to me, my X-Men. The war for survival has begun.
Okay.
She also recognizes the stakes under which she's playing. She's cunning. She actually sort of cheated to beat Cyclops. And she was willing to manipulate Callisto when dealing with the Morlocks. Here's a quote here. I have tried being her leader. I've tried being her friend. It never holds for long. In my opinion, being Callisto's nightmare might work best in the long term. Her new scars should aid her memory this time. Storm can be a cold-hearted woman. She really can.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think because of how cunning she is and because she's such a natural leader, when she's on, she's a great leader. And when she's off, she's an asshole. And that's...
Tyrant.
Yes, a tyrant. Oh, that's a really good way to put it. And she's more than happy to step into being a tyrant if it means getting the job done. And abusing people who've been used to abuse. So I would put her in Slytherin.
Ends versus means.
Yeah.
Again, as kind of that final...
Kind of makes me
that
question...
Final tick mark.
Yeah. Kind of makes me question Marvel's imagination when it comes to women, too. So...
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna say then let's look at Kitty Pryde.
Okay, good point. Good point. Or Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah.
Not a bad point. Okay,
You know,
fair. Very fair.
You know, I mean, you know, Emma Frost doesn't disprove your claim at all.
No.
But again, bad guy.
Jean Grey. Also, I wouldn't put her in Slytherin.
No.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Okay. Jean Grey
Mhm.
is 110% Ravenclaw.
Yes.
100 like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
very power is tied up in there. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Cyclops.
I'm gonna say Hufflepuff
Interesting.
because
think
he's all
later
about
in
he's all
life-
about the team.
Right. I think you're right later in life because he goes bad guy.
Yeah.
He's now a bad guy, and it's super Hufflepuff, his motivations. But I put him in Gryffindor, although I think you might have a better point there.
Here's the thing. Gryffindor was my knee jerk response
Right.
because
He's a leader.
Boy Scout.
Right.
You know, look at me, strong jawed hero guy.
Right.
But no, because he number one, he does not have the, and now we're just gonna go straight at him, kind of, he's very much he's a team tactician.
Mm-hmm.
On a very mechanical level. He is the guy who's always saying, guys, we got to keep training, we got to practice this, we got to get this right.
But a lot of that comes out of his sense of purpose that's tied to a sense of duty. To me, that conned more Gryffindor. But I see what you mean.
But the thing is, I think sense of duty is something that Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, and anybody can be motivated by a sense of duty.
Sure.
I think what makes the difference in this case is that his focus with that sense of duty is not like Harry in the books.
Right.
Harry is working on, I need to be strong enough. I need to be powerful enough. I need to be the one to run off, and my friends are brave and loyal and everything, and they come with me. But the focus is, I'm the one who's got to stop Voldemort. And that's Cap is no, I'm the super soldier. I'm Captain America.
Right.
I'm going to head off and do this, whereas everything Scott does, I mean, the occasions on which Scott runs off by himself to be the guy who saves the day alone,
I think you're looking at
very
Gryffindor
rare.
only as good guys, though. I think he's what happens when Gryffindor goes bad. He's not resourceful enough to be Slytherin. He only has one speed in one direction. I mean, his very power is fire coming from his eyes going forward.
All right.
He's Captain No Chill. And here's why.
Well, he's certainly Captain Tight Ass.
Yeah, that too.
In
the beginning, he was this stodgy, one-dimensional leader, but later he becomes the insurrectionist in chief, right? He killed Xavier because he said Xavier was going the wrong way with the X-Men. That's what happens when No Chill goes bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. I'm out of touch with those plot lines. I'm thinking.
So here's
older period.
Here's
stuff.
A quote.
Stodgy. I'm thinking of stodgy leader guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a quote from him talking to Xavier. You almost ruined everything. Your school will now have new mutant students, thanks to me. And you just hope that whoever writes your history skims over how the headmaster almost doomed the entire species when he tried to kill Hope. Hope is an actual mutant. She was the first one born after the House of M that had powers. Imagine if you succeeded. There are people who get to judge me, Logan. Oh, okay, so he's talking to Wolverine. I don't think you're among them. Though that's you here, right? Judge and jury, and I know how Jean felt now, more than ever. I understand her even better than before. In a way, you never will. I'm a dead weight now. I've done everything I can do, and I die now. I die now, and I'm a martyr. And in a few years, some rebellious little kid is going to turn up at your school with me on his t-shirt saying Cyclops was right.
Wow, you're a dick.
Right.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
In the X-Men movies, he's kind of this milquetoast, Dudley Do-Right, stick up his ass.
Yeah, they kept him true
guy.
to the early stuff.
Okay, and see that's the guy that I think is the Hufflepuff. I think
I would agree.
This guy, yeah, is somebody gone bad. Like, who pissed in your cornflakes, asshole? Like,
well, in fairness, most of the world tried to exterminate mutants.
Well, okay,
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, beside that,
yeah. Besides attempted genocide,
besides
what have they ever done to you?
What have they ever done to you? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Based on that set of characterizations, I see what you're going with. The Scott Summers that I am familiar with from when I was regularly reading the X-Men.
The one we grew up with.
Think the one we grew up with is more Hufflepuff than Gryffindor, but I get what you're saying.
All right, I'll finish this episode with Beast, and then we're going to need to do another episode because the X-Men have just a lot of goddamn members. So Beast is really obvious. He is
a Ravenclaw.
Yeah. He's also one of my favorite guys. He's blue, and for some reason I really like blue superheroes. Like, I like him, and I like Nightcrawler a lot.
Okay.
But he's way smart. He's blue. He's furry. There's just something kind of cool and quirky about him. And he very quickly gets lost in his own funniness.
Well, okay.
He is if I was a mutant, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. I think he's your avatar in
I think you're right.
In the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
Which then opens up a whole can of worms I don't want to get into because I don't know who mine is, and I don't know if I want to know the answer.
Well, want it to be Wolverine.
Well, I mean, that's the set of powers I'd want to have. Yeah.
Right. Well, just also that attitude of I am correct. Here I go.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
No. What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Whereas I just want to get lost on my own little puns. Speaking of which,
Also,
here's a quote. Forewarned is forearmed, Miss M, but forearms do not great feats make. So feats don't fail me now.
Yep.
And in addition to being witty, he's also wildly intellectual. Here's another quote. Our very presence here, 3,000 some odd years in the past, could have irreparable consequences to the timeline. Imagine the butterfly effect extrapolated over 1,000 years. Every step we take puts the future at risk. And you're talking about snuffing out one of the most profoundly influential villains in all of human history. That's the biggest butterfly effect of them all. So while he's one of the most acrobatic heroes, he's also one of the most brilliant, especially when it comes to genetics.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't get more Ravenclaw.
He's the science hero of the team.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. So let's stop it there. We'll start up next week's show with Wolverine. And we'll just do a quick recap of the houses and why we're sorting them. So what comic books would you recommend? What comic book series would you recommend based on our discussions tonight?
Oh, wow. Based on our discussions tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn it. I don't remember. Oh,
you said the one. You can just give us the plot line because people can find that pretty easy. So you said the one where Clint takes on the Ukrainian mob.
Well, the Matt Fraction run of the Hawkeye comic.
Okay.
Which involves both Clint and Kate Burton.
Mm-hmm.
At different points, and it's a rollicking good time.
Good.
And there is a trade paperback now that I have somewhere on my bookshelf behind me, but I don't have it in front of me. But it is the secret history of when Captain America and the Howling Commandos and Nick Fury in World War II wound up going to Wakanda.
Oh, neat.
And it is, and of course they run into Black Panther, who is the prior Black Panther to
T'Chaka instead of T'Challa.
Yeah, T'Chaka instead of T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a really, really good read, and it gets into some very meaningful questions about colonialism, colonial attitudes.
Nice.
And one of the viewpoint characters is a member of the Howling Commandos who is a black man. And he gets put in the position by Nick Fury of, well, while we're here, see who you can talk to and, make nice with the locals because you can blend in with these guys and the rest of us can't. And it's this, for the war effort,
Right. King and country.
And Cap, and it's a meaningful comparison between Nick Fury's approach and Cap's approach. Cap is talking to T'Chaka, and of course, because it's Cap and he is the big blue Boy Scout, the real big blue Boy Scout. He is being, completely upfront and like, no, man, whatever you're going to give us, and I'm not going to try to, we're guests in your country. I'm not going to try to push you on that. Meanwhile, Nick Fury, being a prototypical OSS agent, is like, okay,
Manipulate.
look, yeah, we gotta get an angle. We have to get leverage somehow. We gotta find something. And this member of his team winds up being the one who gets put in this position of.
Is that Isaiah Bradley? Or is it?
I think so, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I don't remember, and I feel horrible that I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, it's a great read.
Okay.
It's really, really good, talking about Cap.
Cool. I'm going to suggest Avengers versus X-Men, because there are a few comics that strike me so hard that I'm just like, this is beautiful and this will always be. Avengers versus X-Men, they basically are fighting over this mutant named Hope, and they're also fighting, I think, they're fighting over Hope. And essentially the Phoenix Force is coming down, and the Avengers are like, we have to take her into custody so that it doesn't get her because she's super powerful. And the X-Men are like, no, that's not going to happen, man. We'll take care of our own. And then the Phoenix Force invades and takes over Colossus, Magic, Cyclops, Emma Frost, and Namor. Takes over all 5 of them because Namor is a mutant. That's a thing that's been true for a while. So it takes over all 5 of them, and then as each of them get defeated, the other 4 get more powerful, and then the 3 get more powerful, then the 2, and then Cyclops basically is like, sorry, Emma, you're dead, and he takes over all the power because the ends justify the means. And then he ends up getting it. It's an insane story, but here's the thing. They had so many of these battles that you always wanted to see. So like Hawkeye versus Gambit. But my favorite one was when it was Black Panther versus Storm, and they've been married for a while. And they're on opposite sides of this conflict. And what you see, and it's like it's tear-inducing how sad it is. You see in purple box text his thoughts, and in yellow box text her thoughts, as they're beating the shit out of each other and using their powers on each other and negating each other. And there's just like, no matter what happens, this is, I'm so sorry that it had to come to this. And it's just their internal monologue. And at the very last one, you see this, the box text and the battle is completed. I think it was a draw. And it says, and both of them say in the previous panel, no matter what happens, there's one thing that's going to be true. And in the next panel, one of them says, I never should have married her. And the other one says, I will always love this man. And it wrecked me.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's hard to read.
Wow.
Yeah. You're watching the dissolution of their marriage as they're fighting over very important ideological things. Also, Peter Parker tells Hope that with great power comes great responsibility, which he starts off as a bit of a joke, and then he spins it into this really long monologue about like what it actually means to be a hero. It's really well done. So I recommend Avengers versus X-Men. So
all right.
Where can we find you on the social medias?
On the social media, I can be found on Twitter at Blaylock. I can be found on Instagram at Mr. Blaylock. And you can find me as 1/2 or 1/3.
Yep.
Sorry, producer George. As 1/3 of our trivium. You can find me at Geek History Time on Twitter.
Cool.
How about you?
You can find me on the Insta and on the Twitter at @DaHarmony, 2 H's in the middle. You can also find me every Tuesday night now at twitch.tv/capital puns. You can find me on occasion on British pun shows now, and that's kind of fun. But by the time this airs, I will have done 2 of them already, so I don't have advanced booking beyond that. You'll also find me every Sunday at twitch.tv/calling it in the ring. So the Capital Puns is obviously the pun show I've been doing for 4 years now. Calling it in the ring is where my buddy Johnny and we do we look at a wrestling match and we discuss it and we talk about it and get into the history of it. It's a lot of fun to watch along show. So,
all right.
Yeah. So
Very
for
cool.
Geek History of Time, I'm Damian Harmony.
And I'm Ed Blaylock. And whatever you do, don't let the adamantium get pulled out of your skeleton.